So, welcome to the fourth annual MayWorks Windsor. And MayWorks is more than a happy festival or a festival, normal festival. MayWorks opens a space for our cultural expressions and our creative thinking around our conditions as workers and social justice issues that affect all of us and our political concerns. So I want to welcome you and thank you for coming. In the room we have artists, we have labor leaders, cultural workers, and students. MayWorks Connections can open up conversations so that we can all collaborate on this great social project that we're engaged in. So I might bring up in the context of this particular, what should be a celebratory event, the terrible tragedies where workers were killed yesterday unnecessarily in Bangladesh and a week or so ago in Texas. And these were totally unnecessary deaths, and we are all implicated as a global community, as Canadian citizens. We are all implicated in their deaths. And these are the issues these are workers' issues, and these are the issues that Labor Council takes up every month, and that we all should be thinking about all the time. And they're issues of health and safety, of working conditions, but they're mostly the issues of money and economics versus human values. And I think this is what the MayWorks project brings out in the creative work of artists and the work that cultural workers put together for this festival. Now it's very appropriate that we're beginning, as we always do, MayWorks celebrations with the Workers' Day of Mourning, where once a year on the 28th of April, people come together to remember workers who were killed or injured on the job. And that will take place, as it usually does, on the 28th, and I'm sure the issues of Bangladesh and Texas will be mentioned, as well as other tragedies that have occurred in our own community unnecessarily. What they say is a person should have the right to go to work and come back from work safely and in good health. Now, this year's MayWorks, there's many issues involved in MayWorks this year that artists have come together and put forth. But one of the largest issues is that of precarious workers and precarity. And we're living in a time of precarity, and so this is being spoken about by the artists in their work. In that context, I want to bring it, because all these issues of MayWorks, of the artists, have connections with our daily life and our community. The Sandwich Post Office is closed today. It's the last day of the Sandwich Post Office. And I got a note from Michelle Johnson this morning, postal worker. Unfortunately, Canada Post is on a mission to tear apart communities, as well as our retail network of corporate post offices across the country. Today is the last day that Sandwich Post Office will be open for business. And if you're in the neighborhood, you can stop by and say hi to Jenny and Claudia. And I did that this morning. I mailed a letter over there, and they were glad to see me. Everyone's very demoralized and about the situation, and they know it's part of a larger agenda. I also got a heartening note from the leader of their union, Leon Bouvier, and the struggle continues, sisters and brothers. We must stay focused and defeat the conservative agenda. In solidarity, Leon Bouvier. So this is all that we're facing, and that's why you see what you see in the projects. We have 22 projects this year as part of MayWorks. They're wonderful projects, and beside precarity, there's a lot of concern about how we make work, how artists make work, how artists make work when they collaborate. So there's a number of projects about just celebrating work and the hope of work that work produces, the hope and joy that work produces. There are shows at the Art Gallery that talk about that, and SB Gallery, SB Contemporary, there's work, and And in Artcite, there's 3, shows the artists are here today. And I want to introduce the people that are here today. They can at least say for the camera and for all of us who they are and what aspect of MayWorks they represent. So I want to call out my co-collaborator and organizer for 4 years, Deborah Dunlap, and maybe you want to say first.
I'm here representing the quilt project. This is last year's quilt. We are in the process of planning for next year's quilt. We will be collaborating. We're actually getting all of our photographs from the Community Museum, and we've already met with them. The quilt is going to be about work and workers, and we're starting in 1790 and bringing it up to the present. So it should be quite interesting. We also have taken the theme from the coat of arms for Windsor, which is the river and the land sustain us. So we're going to get away from the red, and we're going to have blue and greens for next year's quilt, just to change up a little bit for me. and that's about it.
Ian, Paul, you want to talk about May Day?
Yeah, I'm here representing the May Day Organizing Committee. This year, instead of a march downtown, what we're hoping to do is have a living museum at Riverside and Drouillard, where people will come and see reenactments of famous strikes, famous labor events, as they're taken on a guided tour down Drouillard Road. That's 5 o'clock Wednesday, May 1st. We're really excited. We've set the bar much higher compared to previous May Days. We've got several groups involved with one reenactments of the Fort Strike of 1945 right here in Windsor, the Winnipeg General Strike, free speech fights that took place in the United States. And it's just an opportunity for people to come out and learn about the struggles that gained the working rights that we have today, and the fight right here in Windsor, where unions gain recognition under the RAND formula.
Lily Marentat is here representing the health and safety sector and representing CAW 444. I'd like to first mention, I forgot to mention that MayWorks is presented in collaboration with Artcite, and we work very closely with the Windsor Labor Council on all year of our events. So I'm going to pull out that.
So you want me to talk a little bit about the event we're having on May the 9th?
Yes.
Okay, well on May the 9th we're going to be doing a thing on healthcare. It's called No Time to Heal, or No Time to Care. And I'll give you a little bit of background on why I think this is an important issue. Early 1990s I was appointed to the Windsor District Health Council. And it was dealing with, at the time, the closure of Grace Hospital. And through the subsequent years, I've also been involved as a board member through the Community Care Access Center, CCAC, and that's when they started to put home care, private home care, taking it out of the public sector. What we've seen over the years is a deterioration of the amount of time that's actually been spent with any kind of care, whether it's in a hospital, any setting, or in nursing homes. And I think what's really should be important here is to remember that we're hearing the CEO who's always getting the press, and they always talk about all the great things that are going on. But I think it's time for the community to start listening to the workers so they have an opportunity to tell you what's really going on. And they're looking for a standardized amount of care that they can provide for every patient. And you know, it's strange that in our community, you know, we keep hearing about how we have to downsize. I think our CEOs got to be held to their feet to held to the fire, because they're not very creative. They've been using the same tools for the last 20 years, and all it is cut frontline workers. And I don't know how you can provide decent health care when you don't have frontline workers to provide. It's a stressful job. What it does mean, it means more time that's taken away from the patients. It's stress for the people that are left behind. And you know, we just had a creative situation or a creative solution where the CEO for Med Hospital said that they were going to lay off some of the nurses. that finally got reversed because of the community outcry. Because the community understands you can't provide care without people. They're their front line of defense. We've got so many seniors in this area. You know, it's the other thing, the strange thing about this is they're trying to paint Windsor as a place where everybody should retire. You can't retire without having good health care. So on May the 9th, we're going to have the frontline workers telling their side of the story, and I hope the community comes out and listens to what's really going on. They've got some creative solutions to solve the problems, and the problem is nobody's listening.
Actually, I want to point out, thank Joel Bentley for coming. Joel Bentley is an active QP member, activist, and a labor activist and QP member. Do you want to have anything to say?
And I hope I can get some folks from QP to participate more in what's going on.
QP they do, and QP has been a big supporter of MayWorks. So thank you, Joel, for coming. Some of the artists want to name themselves, and
I'm Colette Rogers. I'm doing an exhibit in an industrial space. It's a multimedia installation of both video projection and sound that sort of collects the journey of the worker.
there's three artists here, two artists from the Artcite show, and I'd like them to introduce themselves. Nadia, I'm not sure.
So, hello, I'm Nadia. I'm one of the artists presenting here, and I'm presenting a video that I did in India. I lived in India in 2012, and I was working with the low-wage workers in the low-caste society in the villages throughout South India. They had to watch their clients as well as their neighbors, their families. So it was a lot of working together, community work, community aid every day, which became a routine. It was very interesting for me to engage in this everyday process of washing. And this is something that is very alien in Western society, to wash with your feet, with your hands, hitting the clothing, the fabric on the box. So I wanted to present this to the Western part of the world, just as an interesting way to find ways to work together to sort of revitalize, reevaluate our way of living, working together as a group to better our society. So I'm presenting the video installation along with tied bundles of clothing. These are clothing collected over the years from cast off clothing from various parts of the world and various textiles.
I'm Sasha Pinko, and this here is a collaborative project I did with Megan Press. It consists of materials, discarded objects. Basically, it's a model representing the unsustainability of consumer-based society. So it looks like it's about to fall apart, even though it's kind of rolled on. It moves. Yeah, I'm not sure what else to say. Yeah, it's just dangerous and
It's filled with character. So, AG,
Yes.
represent your project.
The project that I'm involved with is at Sarah Beverage Gallery, and we're doing a thing in there. It's a one-day project of I think there's 6 artists that are going to be working in there, and the project is called "We're Working on It." And these are what it represents is the ways that artists work. Each artist works in a different way. You know, they collect material from their environment that they live in, and they collaborate with other people in creating this work. And so we're going to be there for that day working on it. We'll be working with our processes, trying to illustrate the way that we work and think of that. And then at, I think 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon, we're going to have a wrap up and kind of sit around and talk about it. And people are welcome to drop in, drop out all day, and see what we're doing.
And Arturo, you have a show at SB?
Yep, we're going to have a show in the Speed Gallery along with Alana Bartol. And the show is called In Uniforms, and it's a show Bizarre Beverage put together, and it's about taking different roles as individuals in our society. And my work specifically talks about how we take different identities and different, roles in society while we wear hats and different accessories that we wear in our heads. So the show will start on May 4th with the opening on that Saturday, May 4th, from 1 until 4 p.m. And we'll be running through the whole month of May all the way to June.
There's a lot of things going on. I want to mention a young worker who's at work now, Vince Kodak. And Vince is having a show of common ground on these large, wonderful drawings of workers. And this one's called Enthroned. The one that we use for the poster is called Triumphant. But I think he does take particular people and he does try to make them, heroic. But in this contemporary age, that vulnerability and precarity of the worker does show through. And so I hope everyone will come out to see his work at Common Ground. We have a number of institutional organizations that have been part of MayWorks from the beginning, all 4 years. Some of these artists have been with us all 4 years. Some are just newcomers, that's what we like. The Art Gallery of Windsor has been a partner of MayWorks all 4 years of MayWorks. We've had different wonderful collaborative things. The Art Gallery has either given a tour or had an exhibition with its issues, particularly developed around issues of MayWorks and the social project. And Srimoy Mitra is here from the curator, contemporary curator from Art Gallery, and maybe you'd like to tell us what the Art Gallery is doing this year.
Thank you, Susan. My name is Srimoy Mitra. I work at the Art Gallery of Windsor as the curator of contemporary art. We are very excited and thrilled to be part of MayWorks this year. We have a couple of exhibitions, one by Zeke Moores called Dispose, where kind of similar to the idea that Sasha was talking about, where she has accumulated all these found objects and put them together to form this empire. Zeke Moores works with found discarded objects and transforms them by hand. So it's a really labor-intensive way of working in the foundry to remake these, disposable objects like cardboard boxes, a moving blanket that one can find lying around, in any back alley or in the landfill. He transforms them into metals, so in aluminum and bronze. And we also have an exhibition by Hadra Wahid where she makes collages and drawings and videos to capture sort of exactly these moments from everyday life when the spectacular and the mundane come together. So we will be offering a curatorial tour of the two projects, of the two exhibitions on Saturday at 2 o'clock. It's welcome, everyone is welcome, it's free, so please come. And then we also have a performance by Alana Bartol on May 11th called Wrapped Rocks. So
there's a lot of opportunities for people to actually work and participate as part of MayWorks. Michelle Lucian is director at Arts Council at Windsor Region, and Arts Council has always has one of those spaces in Windsor that you need. If you need to have a show, you don't have to wait 3 years, or I don't mean to point to you. Or 2 years if you're here or something like that. You can rent the space and put out your work. So every community, Common Ground is another kind of space like that, and it's a very democratic kind of way to show art. So every community needs all those different ways to present our art. But the Arts Council has been particularly helpful, and people can, every year that MayWorks has been going on, people have rented the Arts Council space to put on their work, so they could put it on right at the time that was needed and exactly what they want to put in it. Do you want to say something about this year?
Yeah,
You're taking a different point of view.
Yeah, this year we have Nick Durcio. He's going to be starting his exhibition next week. He'll be actually in the space all of next week from, I think, 10 o'clock to 5 o'clock. His exhibition is Common Goods. He'll be having a common goods store in our space. It'll be set up where he'll have items that you can come in and exchange, or you can add to the collection as well. He actually also has a receipt system that he'll be writing about the receipt when you come in and you collect or exchanging items in the space. So the idea of collecting and exchanging items, different items that you may regard as trash or something that you no longer use, so it'll be somebody's treasure. So Mike will be doing that next week, and he'll be, like I said, in the gallery all week. And then on the 15th, the Arts Council at 6:30, we're hosting a special first third. We're going to be doing a community roundtable. We're asking people to come and discuss the topics that they've been seeing and participating in all throughout MayWorks. To come and have an open discussion as a community, to kind of see what we as a community have been experienced as artists, as workers themselves. So we'll be actually asking throughout MayWorks for people to submit their topics of discussion, so that way at the community roundtable we can really have a great opportunity to discuss these issues as a community.
Artistic coordinator at Artcite is here helping us with all this and our website, but he wants to make 2 short announcements about other things that Artcite is doing for MayWorks.
Thank you, everybody, for coming out. Artcite is happy to be the anchor for the 4th time for MayWorks, follows in the tradition of our Labor Arts Fest, which go back to 2000. I would commend onto you, of course, our website, www.artcite.ca/MayWorks, which has always the evolving listing here. And of course, if you are having something going forward, keep all your information, because I update it as it goes along. And then finally, we're very pleased to be able to host this one of the last MayWorks events on May 29th, 2+2 readings by Len Gasparini, Michael Marola, Karen Lett, and Lisa Pike. A very nice wrap up at the end of the MayWorks. And of course, the show Precariat, which you are soaking in right now and which is being installed as we go along. Sacha Opico, Megan Press, the Meta, etc. Hovercraft, Nadia Ionta, the Collective Lavin piece, and to be installed in the next few days. Teresa Carlissimo, Mike Dorizio, Urban Field Workers, an installation which will occur in the back gallery there. It will be an entire studio. So once again, I thank you for coming out, and I thank you all for being part of MayWorks. We're very happy once again to play a role in it.
Thank you, Bernie. Thank you, Artcite. Thank you, Windsor Labor Council. Thank you to all the artists and labor activists and crafts that came, and cultural workers. It's not who didn't come, it's who came. That's important. And one of the main things about MayWorks is it's important to support each other, and that's what we're doing here today. We're supporting each other. The Windsor Star did a great article, I heard, and the Windsor Star is here and did an excellent job. They wanted to jump the gun on everyone, and they did it yesterday, but you're here today. Thank you very much. And what's the press? Okay. But and I'm going from here over to the bridge, over to Bob's Heel, and do an interview. He couldn't come here, but he's, and so we'll distribute some of these press packets around, and maybe if you know of people, you can grab one and take one and give it to someone who is involved with the press or not. Thank you very much.
Thank you.